If you guys have never seen the map of the Game of Thrones world, its ambition and detail is something pretty impressive George Martin and the people he works with were able to create. In this show, we've come across some amazing places, like the ruins of Valyria, which is a result of a volcanic disaster killing everyone and destroying the world's greatest civilization. The show even surprised us by showing what looks like the lands of Always Winter. This is where White Walkers are believed to originate from. With a story filled with so much detail and lore, many places are just not going to make an appearance. I'm going to cover 7 I think the show will never travel to. We know of Westeros and Essos, but there are 2 other known continents in this story. These lands are unexplored, so they're a pretty big mystery. Southeros is just terrifying. Everything about it is just scary. Imagine an Amazon rainforest on steroids. This continent is mostly jungle, with some desert and mountains. There are some inhabitants, and I don't know how they even survive. The people here eat each other, the place is filled with plagues and disease, the weather is brutal, but you need to hear the wildlife they have going on here. They have wyverns, which are dragons that don't spit fire, and even apes big enough to kill an elephant with one hit, so pretty much King Kong. Further east from here is Ulthos. This place is pretty much a complete mystery. It's not even for certain whether or not it's an actual continent. George Martin says he included Ulthos to the story to show how little the people of Westeros know about the outside world. Number 6 is not too far off from the mystery continents. Naatha is where Missandei is from. This island used to be known as the Isle of Butterflies. The people of Naatha are favorites to slavers because they don't believe in violence and are extremely peaceful. Eating meat is forbidden. Fruits and vegetables is all they eat. They never fight back against the raiders who come and attack their homes. They believe the butterflies on the island protect them. And they're right. Butterflies carry a plague that only kills all outsiders, since the people of Naatha are immune. Casterly Rock, a name mentioned over and over in the show and books. This is the home of the infamous House Lannister. We always hear about how rich the family is. Well, their home is a giant gold mine. Their castle is built within a stone hill that's 3 times taller than the wall up in the north. This impenetrable castle didn't always belong to the Lannisters. Thousands of years ago, it was ruled by an ancient family called the Casterlys. A man named Lan the Clever somehow tricked his way into taking the castle for himself. It isn't clear exactly how he did this, with some saying he snuck into a secret passage and pretended to be a ghost, convincing the Casterlys the place was haunted and scaring them off. In other tales, he snuck in rats, in others, it was him sneaking in lions, and in other tales, he simply married the right person. However he did it, the castle has been the Lannisters ever since. Number 4 is Skagos, an island not mentioned in the show. But in the books, this is where Asshai takes Rickon for safety. The irony is this place is feared by pretty much everyone. Since the island is so far north, the conditions are horrible. Like the wildlings in Ironborn, the people are savage outsiders. The northerners look down on them. The Skagosi used to always attack other places in the north before they were banned from sailing, and now kind of rule themselves. People think they turn to cannibalism in the winters and still make human sacrifices to their gods. Rickon was already wild in the books, so spending time at a place like this has fans anticipating his return to the story. A weird fact told in the story is unicorns apparently live here. Number 3 is Asshai. I remember reading or hearing George Martin say that Asshai by the Shadow is further east than the story will ever go, and at the time, this was the place I wanted a POV character to go the most. But it's all good, since we've pretty much had some really amazing descriptions of it so far. Asshai is a city covered in darkness because the buildings are all made of black stone. This oily stone literally absorbs light. Very few people live here, and 0 children are seen. The fish, fruit, vegetables, and even the damn water is inedible. The few people that do live here walk around with their faces all covered up. People here are heavily involved with magic. Since sorcery isn't a taboo here, people openly practice all types of weird magic like shadowbinding. Both Melisandre and Quaithe are shadowbinders and are both from Asshai. Number 2 is the Isle of Faces. The only people in Westeros who believe in the old gods are the northerners, so most weird trees have been cut down in other kingdoms besides the north. When the Children of the Forest were still in Westeros, a pact was signed here to end a war between them and the First Men. Every weird tree on this small island in a lake had a face carved in it after the signing. The Order of Green Men was then formed to protect and tend to these trees, signifying their importance. It isn't clear who these Green Men are. Fans theorize they could be children of the forest still alive in Westeros, possibly Greenseers, or even could be just mysterious people. Number 1. Greywater Watch, a place with a strong connection with the Isle of Faces and Green Men. Greywater Watch is a castle built on a man-made floating island in the swamps of the north. This floating castle is always moving, making it almost impossible for people and ravens to find. And of course, this is the castle belonging to House Reed and the current Lord, Howland Reed. An interesting family needs an interesting home. I'm sure Howland Reed will eventually make an appearance in the show with some meeting with Bran and his daughter, but this cool floating castle will most likely not. The swamps of the north are an area called a neck, and the people here are a lot smaller than usual. It's possible they could have the blood of the children of the forest running through their veins. Even Howland Reed has spent time with the Green Men from the Isle of Faces. This all could explain Jojen's connection with the Three-Eyed Raven. A lot of people's critiques of the books are that they are slow, but I think all of the over-the-top detail pays off. These are just 7 places out of countless that won't be included in the show's story. If you think I've left any of noteworthy locations out, you can leave yours in the comments. And that's it. See y'all next time.